Mom, don't move.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, Leo sent me Hatched, which is a 2021 movie and is directed by Scott Jeffrey and Rebecca Matthews and stars Amanda Jade Tyler and Megan Purvis. The story of this one is about a family that goes to visit their brother in the countryside, and when they get to his mansion, they discover that there are 3 dinosaurs there, and they have killed the brother and the wife and left the child behind. And so they kind of have to survive. Some military type people show up, and so then they have to deal with that and then kind of get out of there. What will happen exactly? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. So what do I think works about this one? Well, when I first got it, I thought it looked like Dinosaur Hotel. I haven't seen that movie, only a few reviews and whatnot. And Leo informed me that it's made by the same people, so I didn't expect too much, but I think I got more than I expected. Mainly because it's essentially like Jurassic Park in the UK, in like a mansion in the UK. So much better than I thought. It has lots of those kind of scenes right out of the Jurassic Park movies, and like not any particular one, but like all of them taken together. And so it was good that way. Like it's very, stereotypical. And this might be kind of the cynic in me who, has good taste in bad things. But at some point in this, I thought it was a spoof. This is a spoof of a movie of the Jurassic Park things, which was actually really delightful to see. You don't really see that many spoofs around these days. And I think this one has like a very British quality to it because it's a spoof, but with no jokes. Like I laughed and chuckled quite a few times at the spoof quality of it, but there's absolutely 0 jokes in it. Everyone plays it straight. All the lighting is really good. All of the makeup is really good. Like no one has a greasy face like you would expect in kind of like a Jurassic Park type of movie. But yeah, it's just a total spoof of Jurassic Park just in the UK. And that was actually really pleasantly surprising. Yeah, so this is a spoof movie to the max. If I can coin a term, I would say it's a straight spoof, or serious spoof might be more appropriate, where everything is played completely straight and there are no jokes, but you do laugh quite a bit because of that spoof quality to it, which was, I've never seen a movie done this way. It's very interesting. I also kind of appreciated the kind of British storytelling style, where they do use, I believe it's called dramatic irony in literature, where you know something but the audience knows something but the characters don't. So you find out some information about this one character, and it goes on quite a bit before the characters in the movie pick it up. So that's really intriguing, gets you into it, and gets you also thinking along with the story. Also, there's other kind of British storytelling things, like with the Arthurian legend type of stuff. I think it's like Sir Lancelot or something. He's walking through a forest and he just finds a comb or whatever. And this one, something similar happens too. They're just walking through a forest and they find a gun on the ground, So it's kind of that British style of storytelling. And that did go a long way for me and made me enjoy the story a lot more than I should have. There's also these military types that show up, and I actually kind of really like the story with them. Because I liked hating them really. With them, they show up and then try to take over the situation, but they keep pointing their guns into the characters' faces, and they're kind of freaked out by that, and I would be too for sure. And they're like, this guy's like pointing guns like at our faces. We have to get out of here. Like, forget the dinosaurs, like humans are the real monsters, right? And so that kind of extra layer really did hit home for me and made the story much more interesting than it would first appear. As for the dinosaurs themselves, it's B-movie quality CGI. I can forgive quite a bit, and I can forgive this one. They're actually quite passable, except when you see like their full body on screen. There's something about how their feet match up with the ground that really just doesn't work for me. But as long as you don't see their feet, I think they're perfectly fine, perfectly passable. They don't have feathers. I know that's like kind of a more evolved understanding of how dinosaurs looked like. But, it's a spoof, so I can definitely forgive that. They're spoofing Jurassic Park, the 90s version or the 90s understanding of what dinosaurs looked like. So definitely very passable. And lastly, I think the big complaint for Dinosaur Hotel was that there was no real explanation of why dinosaurs existed in that world and why they were in the UK countryside. Someone would have noticed. But in this one, it has lots of internal logic consistency. So everything makes sense. Everything is kind of explained about why it's happening. I actually kind of laughed out loud when I discovered why these dinosaurs existed, but they still explain it, and everything is pretty logically consistent within the world. And so that, I think, also went a long way to make it, not a bad movie. All right, so what doesn't work with this film? Well, with Scott Jeffrey, he's got budget limitations, time filming limitations, all of this type of stuff. He wants to shoot very quickly, that type of stuff. And all of that adds together to make kind of a mediocre movie. All the makeup might be perfect, but, if you're running around, if you're hiding, if you're terrified, right, you should be kind of greasy or oily or sweaty. All the lighting's always perfect. It doesn't matter which room you're in. So all of this kind of adds together. Along with the CGI, the CGI, I said, was passable. Again, as long as you don't see their feet, they're fine. But when you do see their feet, it's very noticeable that it's not really interacting with its environment. And so all of that adds together just to kind of create a mediocre movie. One that, did give me lots of laughs, lots of chuckles, but it's nothing, spectacular. And of course, there's a bunch of, plot points that don't make sense. Like they called the police about these dinosaurs, and who shows up? The military. So that's one thing that really kind of griped me. Why the police didn't show up, I think that would have been more realistic. There's some scientific stuff that doesn't really work for me. Like someone has like a giant syringe, and then they put the liquid in, but then they bring it up and they just pull in a bunch of air into it. I'm like, that's not how syringes should work, right? And so just kind of smaller stuff like that definitely kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But overall, it wasn't the biggest effect, as long as it was kind of scientifically consistent within its world, which was much more important. So who would I recommend this movie to? Well, I think if you're a fan of this style of movie, the style of B movie, I think you could definitely check it out. Maybe save it for a rainy day where you're just looking to, kill an afternoon or whatever. I think if you're in a group, you could definitely do it. Just think of it as that spoof and look for those spoofy moments and laugh along with it. I definitely laughed quite a bit. As for a rating, I gotta give it a mark higher than Dinosaur Hotel, so I'm going to give it a 5, which does bring it up to average. I definitely laughed a lot, or chuckled a lot as well, and so it is that kind of spoof quality. I'd never seen a movie like this. So, having said that, I think that's basically it. Give us a like, leave us a comment, and I will see you next time.